we live? I think we are. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ollie Ward. Welcome back to the Ollie Ward channel. Bit of a different one tonight, okay? I just wanted to go live because I didn't really know how to sort of address this in just a little video. Also, this thing isn't working. So, sorry if it's, not the greatest sort of audio coming out of my mouth. But either way, I hope you are all well. This is actually a legit live, not like a pre-recorded anything. It is legit live, so get all your comments in. And if you are watching this not live, hello, smash that like button as well. We're talking about the reality of Leeds United right now. The harsh reality. Are Leeds United fans overreacting? What are the thoughts on Daniel Farke? We're going to get into it, but I want to see your comments flying in because I'm in this camp of I think there's a bit of overreaction there, but then you don't want to, underreact because this is still a big season for Leeds United. It's a big season for Daniel Farke as well. I think we are allowed to criticise Daniel Farke a lot more this season than we could last season. But I want to get all your chats in. Hello, Peacock Whites of LUFC. Let's get that up on screen. Paul Jones put this in earlier. He said, and who would you replace him with? People really need to get a grip. Sack after 5 games. New players still need to be integrated. I despair at times. This isn't me necessarily saying that Daniel Farke should be sacked. That's not necessarily what I want at all because you have to look at the options. He is completely right. Paul Jones is completely right. You have to see who's out there and who will do a better job than Daniel Farke at this point in time. I don't know if anyone would, but yeah, get your comments in. Like I said, I want to see just an overreaction. Is it overacting? Are people overacting? Chris, evening. Ollie, mate, good evening, Chris. First loss, and it was against a team expected to complete for auto promotion. Not panicking yet, says Jesse. Welcome back, Jesse. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Farke still needs a chance. He got us 90 points last season. New players just need to be used. Ampadu or Gruev swapped for Tanaka. And this is why I came on, guys, because I want to get your guys' opinion of genuinely how you're feeling right now. And I think this is the reality of Leeds United right now, what the fans are thinking. And I am in this camp of it is kind of one game, but things do need to change. Do you know what I mean? How easy we are to beat, especially when someone comes in with a low block, if you understand what I mean. So we will get into that. Keep your comments flying in as well. But yeah, that's just my problem with one loss. And football's so reactionary, which is a bit... Also, do I sound okay? Do I sound okay? Get it in the chat. Do I sound okay? That is the problem with football nowadays, unfortunately. One bad result and, you're back here and we're... it's a thing where I do understand the Daniel Farke criticism. I really, really do, because this low... I'm not seeing enough changes in Daniel Farke's tactics. I'm not seeing... I look at us and I don't know how we play. And that's where I'm at with Daniel Farke. I look at us and think, I don't understand how we play. And that's worrying because I don't think we have still much of an identity. And that, again, is quite worrying. Hi, mate. I said at the start of the season, Farke will not be here after 8 games. Now it looks like 6. Farke is not good enough. Farke is clueless and brainless. No point going on about 90 points. I mean, Richard, that's quite harsh, but fair enough, buddy. At the end of last season, it felt as though other teams have figured out how to play versus his system, sit extra defenders back and push for a counter. We lack the firepower from our strikers. And this is exactly it. Typical fan reaction. One day your hero. Well, yeah, exactly. It's typical football reaction, though, isn't it? And that's exactly. I want to go back to this comment from Jesse. It's a comment that I feel like we are just getting too predictable, and we saw how everyone suddenly knew how to play against Bielsa and things like that. And I think this Farke system is similar, where the fact where I sometimes question what he is doing when he brings on players. I feel like it's just all sort of vibes to Daniel Farke. And you got to think we've won 4 games in 14, including the back end of last season. Jayden Bogle, good on the attack, but could have put the tackle in to stop Burnley from scoring. Schmidt should start on Saturday over Bogle. I still think the jury is out for Jayden Bogle, personally. But I wouldn't say that's 100% his goal, his fault for the goal, because if you do look at it, Pascal is talking to him saying, "Don't stay, 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 stay. Now go," because Pascal was running back to track the other runner running through, and I think Pascal gave him the indication or the instruction to go too late. And the time he's over there, they're not closing down, because I think if Bogle comes over straight away, there's a ball straight through to their other man. So I don't necessarily think that was Bogle's fault completely. Yes, he could have shut him down a bit quicker, and when he did shut him down, close your legs. But that's just, I wouldn't say that, that goal was his fault. If anything, it was Solomon's fault for trying to do the trick and not getting past. I don't think it was necessarily anyone's fault. But again, look how exposed Leeds United look on the counter-attack. I've done a 5 reasons or 5 things we learned from the Leeds United versus Burnley game, if you want to go check that out on the channel as well. And that's one of them. How easy and how, the defenders are so up there. We're pretty much on the edge of their box. And then when they just hit us on the counter-attack, we just can't seem to defend it. He needs to do more on the standing on silo with arm crossed or in his pockets. Needs more shouting direction at the players. Fair enough, James Ellis. With Farke, it's like he has one way of playing and won't change. Yeah, he's very stubborn. And in a way, as a manager, you've got to be stubborn. But I think that this is the thing with this season. I think we are allowed to sit here and people will be like, no, you can't question Farke. You can't. And last year, it was around that Christmas time where we lost to West Brom and we lost a few games over the Christmas period. I think it was Preston game or Boxing Day, where I was probably in the wrong for maybe overreacting about Daniel Farke a tad bit. But this time you are allowed to. I don't think there's ever a place where you aren't or you are allowed to. But personally, for me, I think this is second season in the division, and you can say, you can kind of express how you're feeling. I'm not in the camp of Daniel Farke completely out though, because someone put it in perfectly. Who do you replace him with? And so many people, so easy to jump on Farke out, get him out. Look how boring we play under him, or not even boring, how predictable we are. We can't beat the low block, and as many people want to disagree with that, we haven't beaten a team who play a low block system, or to memory anyway. And look how easy it is. A team like Burnley, who should be going attack versus attack for us, and actually thought, we're more likely to get points here if we just sit back and let them do something else. And I think the wingers were too one-dimensional. I think it was very obvious what they were going to do. That's maybe where Dan James give you a different option, but I even think Dan James would have struggled against that low block that Burnley set up. And fair play to Burnley. They're a very good team, and they set up well. And of course, Jaden Anthony looked like the best thing since sliced bread, but he couldn't really do it too much at us. It's not just Farke, it's the players that are accountable, 100%. I thought Ampadu had a stinker at the weekend. I thought Ampadu hasn't started the season off very well at all. Facts are, it's second loss to Ellen Road this season. We need to start looking for a new manager before it's too late. We start the season as poor as we finished last season. Comment factor Farke. Well, Steve, fair play. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and, unless it's completely wrong. This is what this is for you guys to talk, for you guys to voice your opinions out there. I'm not going to sit there and go, no, you can't say that, because that's your that's your reality on Leeds United. Get down there and smash that like button right now. We're nearly 70 people in here, so really do appreciate that, because like I said, I tried to do a video earlier, but I thought, actually, this would be better if I just spoke to you guys about it. Everything Farke does is wrong or too late. Get a grip, man. You are responsible. I thought you meant me, Ian. You mean Daniel Farke. Yeah, I do believe that everything is too late with Daniel Farke. Farke needs to play a 4-3-3. Okay, who would you drop? What would be your team? Do you think Max Wober will get some game time? Does Max Wober deserve game time? I don't know. I think we're all way too loyal to the team as well, because I don't like to see players getting benched. I think the team we've got, and that's what's worrying, because I look at the team we put out. It should be beating teams. And everyone says how pish this league is and all this stuff. It's, why do we make it so hard? Maybe we as fans overrate these players far too much. Is that also our fault as well? Farke did well at Norwich because he had Timo Pukki that was says to play. We don't have a lethal striker. Yeah, Keith, I think you're right as well, as Daniel Farke's stats without Pukki and Daniel Farke's stats without Buendia are similar to Daniel Farke's stats without Somerville and Daniel Farke's stats without Jorginho Rutter. And there's no word of a lie that losing Rutter and losing Somerville was a big part of, it was always going to leave a massive gap, because they got 51 goals and assists between each other last year. which is absolutely brilliant. And that's always going to be hard to replace. But how many times did Somerville or Rutter use a single bit of magic to get us out of anything? I don't think passing to Somerville and Somerville does everything was necessarily an instruction from Farke, but it does seem to be like that. And we don't want the same thing to happen this season. Give it to Solomon, he'll do something and we might score. Because sometimes I watch Daniel Farke's play and I do think he's passing it to the, giving it to the luxury players and letting them kind of save his bacon a bit. You see it with his substitutions. Oh, we're losing. Let's chuck 18 attackers on the pitch and see what they can do. One of them's got to go in. And that's where you've got to question it. The tactics are a bit all over the place when it comes to stuff like that. Get Potter in, proven Prem manager. The side needs flexibility and a few game plans. The 4-2-3-1 is so predictable. It is now, to be fair. Farke needs to play the Klopp Liverpool 4-3-3. Farke hadn't got Creo Georgie to bail him out. No, but that's kind of a thing, isn't it? Unfortunately. Why just one after is everyone saying that as long as Leeds are there? No, I don't necessarily think he will get sacked. And I'm not saying right now that's the best thing for it. I don't think it is, but we're allowed to sit here and question his tactics. And this season is so much different to last season. Last season was a bit of a free hit. We had a terrible August. We turned it around. And look, we got 90 points, and I know everyone likes the 90-point trophy, but we had a very good season last year. We fell at the final hurdle. That's fine. This year, I think you will see a lot more pressure on Daniel Farke from fans, from the board. He's got the assets. He's got the players. We've got the best team on paper in the league. We need results. And I know we've lost one game, but we've already, lost 2 games at Ellen Road, including the cup game. I think apart from maybe Sheffield Wednesday, we haven't necessarily dominated the game. I know Hull we didn't, and you can argue Portsmouth maybe, yeah, we did. The West Brom game, we've done well defensively to get a point there. At the weekend, you could say we dominated, but were we dominating effectively? We had 78% possession and done nothing. Burnley ended more attempts than us. So then you just got to put it like that, really. I think 3-5-2 would really work for us. 2 to drop back defensively and 2 to push up when attacking. We gave Bielsa 2 seasons. Leave Farke alone, give him a chance. I'm not quite... Hey. I'm not saying Farke out. I'm not Farke out, but you need to... Yeah, I think this is exactly where I am. I'm not saying I'm Farke in, Farke out. I'm just saying... should sort it out. Ollie Wood, you're our legend, mate. Thank you very much, Richard. Rekeep's comment, also the number 10. Yes, we are 5 weeks in front of last season. This is the Parath statement. We weren't too late in the window to get a team gelled. Obviously, and Farke wanted that number 10. He said it in January. He wanted a number 10. He's doing the same things as last season. Ampadu at the back. And that's not necessarily... Rod, that's not necessarily Farke's fault. I'm seeing that in Ampadu's player. Me and Jer have spoke about this a lot, how Ampadu just drops back into that back line, falling into like old habits of when he was playing centre-back last year. And then you leave Gruev isolated against sometimes 2, sometimes 3 midfielders. Then we get turned over in the midfield. And I know it's very old-fashioned. I know it's very Alan Hansen, match of the day. But a game's won in the midfield, and it is. A game is won in the midfield. We know Georgie was going from January. We knew Cree would go too. Ridiculous. He can't control everything on the pitch. They have to hold their hands up and admit they have dropped off when they're in conflict. Yeah, no, I agree. I think as fans, we overrate these players. 100%. We overrate them. And if someone said to me, yeah, Bogle out the team, bring in Byram or blah, blah, I'd feel a bit like, oh, God, no, because I'm told that he's actually quite good. You can't drop Ampadu because he's our captain. But you could argue, based on performances this year, maybe you could. And maybe you should. And I think that's the hardest bit about it, because you love the team, you love the players. And when people criticise the players or criticise what's going on, it is hard. But, yeah, I think there is a massive overreaction in the fan base right now. I think there's overreaction over the loss, but I do understand people's frustrations. It is an odd one to come on and try and talk about because I'm not sitting here Farke out, Farke in necessarily. I think Farke's doing a fine job. He's doing an okay job right now. But stats don't lie. 4 wins in 14 with this team. It needs to be better. But it takes time. Are you guys Farker in or Farker out, or are you in the middle? Get it in the comments down below. Nearly 70 of you in here. Smash that like button. Thank you for joining me. I'll be going for another 15 minutes. Just a quick half an hour little chat with you guys, because I feel like I don't do lives enough, and you guys love the lives when I am live. So, yeah. Red Bull curse. Yeah, we haven't helped Max Verstappen either, have we? Also, subscribe if you are new in the chat. If you've just clicked on, you've never seen my face before, subscribe. We're on the road to 18,000 subscribers, around 70 subscribers off that. So that's all cool. Again, most teams, we don't need a double pivot yet. Yes, against Burnley or Sheffield United, it might make sense, but I don't see the benefit of having a double pivot against most teams in the champ. Okay, fair enough. Farker in says, Jesse, do a poll, 3 choices. I could, let's see if I can do that actually for you, because that is actually not a bad shout. Oh, let's see if I can do that. So yeah, let's start a poll. So we'll do Farke in. All right, I'll do Farke in. Farke. See if you can see this in the chat in a minute. Right, there should be a poll in the chat. Now I'll put Farke in, out, or I don't know. He's paid to manage the team and make productive changes during games, but that's not happening. He only seems to make reactionary changes when we are losing after an hour and we start panicking. That's kind of true as well, CJ. I completely understand that, because you see the panic in the how many attackers he brings on. And it's just a lack of actual footballing. It seems so like very Sunday league, like, oh, we don't have any goals, let's bring on Perot, let's bring on, do you know what I mean? And with some games last year we ended with like 6-7 attackers on the pitch and we still lost 1-0 because we can't beat a low block. Like, it doesn't make too much sense to me. It really doesn't. Farke definitely out. Ian Farkin, I think you were saying, hi, my name's Ian Farkin. He then switched defender for forwards and throws the kitchen sink at it. The answers for change is Tanaka. I'd love to see Tanaka get a start. If you were to drop anyone for Tanaka, would it be Ampadu? Would it be Gruev? Would it even be maybe Brendan? Maybe do something a bit different? Do you think something formation-wise needs to change with Leeds United? Do you think we need to go? Someone suggested a 4-3-3. Someone suggested that the 4-2-3-1 is becoming too predictable with Leeds. Do you think Mateo Joseph needs more help up there? Maybe a Joel Perot. But again, Perot sometimes looks like... I mean, Joel Perot is one of them players I always want him to do so well. Like, I really am knocking on the door for Perot because he can score goals. He was terrible last year and ended with 13 goals. Like, only Somerville scored more than him. And he was... how many times did we slag off Perot last year? And a similar again, he's already off the mark this year. And he just gets in their positions one-on-one. He is probably the best goal scorer we've got. But he really needs to just switch on. He always looks half-assed. He looks like he's got a caravan around him. He's just so slow with everything. But naturally, he is a goal scorer. And I just want Perot to always do so well. I really do. 4-1-4-1. Are you just living the Bielsa days? Is that what you're doing? Are you just living the Calvin in the one, Bamford in the Bamford up top? Gruev usually, but Amper needs taking out to send him a message. Do you drop your captain though? Do you drop, and can you drop your captain? There's votes coming in on the poll so far. It's 42% in. Out is 36%, and I don't know, it's 22%. Keep voting in the comments. There's 75 of you in here. Be sure to smash that like button if you want to see more live streams from me. 100 likes and you'll see more live streams from me. Definitely formation revamp. Ian, what formation would you go? Defensive 4-3-3, offensive 3-5-3, says Chris. Yeah, I could see that. Farke is doing a fine job. It's the players who need to show up on the night. Joseph needs to convert his big chances in goals. The 49ers needed number 9 and 10 have fouled in both profiles. MOT. Thank you, Rick. I think there's a lot of pressure on Mateo Joseph personally. I think there is a lot of pressure on him. He's a young lad. I've said this in so many different videos, my videos, other people's videos. He's going to be... he's going to start taking a lot of stick when he shouldn't be. He's young. We need to bring in a player like Mateo Joseph to not be... He wants to be the leading man, and he thinks he's got the responsibility. But he was getting pelters when he missed that chance after 30 seconds against Burnley. He was getting absolute pelters. I've seen it on social media. I've seen it on people's watch-alongs. And he's soon going to become overrated because how much we rely on him. And people are going to start criticising the young lad. And I just feel horrible for him. But he wants to be the big guy. And if you want to wear, the 19 shirt, but pretty much the number 9 shirt in this Leeds United 11, you've got to take the stick. You've got to put your chances away. And he should have scored that. Similar how Brendan Arrington should have scored that against Portsmouth as well. And that's why I don't always think it's always, it's not always Daniel Farke's fault. He set up his best team. He's doing his formation, his tactics. If you look at it, 90% of the time, maybe it worked last year. So are we just, are we maybe too privileged? Are we asking too much to be maybe a better club than we should be? I don't know. I don't know right now. But it's not the end of the world because we're 5 games in and we've lost 1 game and we're sitting 9th. And I think if we win our next game against Cardiff, who are foot of the table, doesn't mean anything this time of the season, then, then I think we can go to like 3rd or 4th if we win on the weekend. So it's really not that big of a deal. I just believe that there are some question marks in Daniel Farke, in the players as well. Let's read some more of your comments. Didn't affect the 16-year-old Rooney when he smashed in the worldie. If you could, you're comparing Rooney to Joseph. I understand the comparison, but I get you. I can see the same similarities happening with Farke. They keep saying early days, but how long do we keep saying it? Yeah, that is true. We only have a certain amount of time, I guess, and before it's too late, we keep. Yeah, that's very true. But then it's But then you've got to say who comes in. Realistically, who comes in? I know a lot of people say Carlos Corberán or whatever, but will he drop a good West Brom side who have started the season off very well? It will click soon, Ollie. That team is more than good enough to walk the league. I agree, but do we overrate the team too much? I completely agree. Too much on Joseph's shoulders. We need a number 9 to... Bamford. I'm not having a chat about Bamford. I feel like people think I hate Bamford, but I just don't think he should be at Leeds United. I don't. I think Striker's missing big chances as usual, unless it's a neat player. He brings a lot to the team, but you don't get the ball enough. Yeah. Is it asking me too much to demand perfection? No. Look at this face. That is perfection. What? We're far too slow at the moment under him. Too many passing sides back to Melio when we should be moving faster. Yeah, I had a couple of comments saying we're too slow in the build-up. Farke is limited tactically. Free falling. You might be right. Norwich fans said the same thing. I think, neutrals of watching Championship football. I mean, not the pundits, because obviously he's got out of the Championship twice, so he's done it all before. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. If you watch Championship football and if you've watched Daniel Farke in the past, you understand that, maybe sometimes his tactics are a bit shit. I think we've got a bang average team, no superstars. Really? Gnonto? Do you think Gnonto or... I don't know, maybe Solomon. I think Solomon's a fantastic player. He's tactically inept. He relies on the talent of the players with no ideas of his own. I think last year we saw that very much so in Pastor Somerville and Pray, I think was our tactic last year. Be sure to smash that like button, people, if you are enjoying the live stream. I'll be due to do so much more. This thing isn't working for some reason. On my thing, it says, you can't see this, so I don't know why I'm doing this. But it says that it's connected, but when I try and click on it, it glitches off. So I've spoken to my main man, Jer, and it's happened to him before. He said it just takes time. So still saying we need a proven goal scorer. Joseph's not the answer at the moment. But annoyingly, not Mateo Joseph, Joel Perreault should be that. Joel Perreault should be that. Before Leeds signed him, before we gave him the Leeds curse, he was back-to-back Championship top goal scorer in a Swansea City side. He scored goals for fun. And again, like I said last year, he was terrible. He came off the bench 9 times out of 10 and he got 13 goals. So he can score goals. I just think he's a kick up his ass. I don't know if he needs to lose weight or I don't even think he's big. He just seems so slow. I don't know what it is. He seems unbothered. But then he doesn't act like unbothered. When he scores, he's tapping the badge. I feel like he likes Leeds. I feel like he is enjoying himself. But yeah, you're right. Joel Perreault is lazy free-falling. He is. And you don't want him to be because he can put the ball in the back of the net. And if he done it week in, week out, he would be one of the best champion. You know, when we signed him, that was such a huge statement signing to go, okay, we've been relegated. Who scored the most goals last year? Oh, Joe Perot. Oh, okay, well, we'll take him then. That's how it felt. And we haven't seen that Joe Perot, annoyingly. We're just not clinical enough. And that's a big word, clinical. Leeds United are not clinical enough. It's worrying because Daniel Farke's tactics, you know, Daniel Farke's tactics are... My dog has just come in. Daniel Farke's tactics are not, the best all the time. But he can only do so many things. For example, put the team out. And then when Joseph misses a one-on-one chance in the first 30 seconds, how much of that can you blame on Daniel? Say how it is. It's passion that's what's missing. What of Joel Pro? I kind of think you're right as well. Well, you say that though, but he celebrates so much when he scores. And he has scored some key goals. That was Daniel Farke's coming in to disagree. Yeah. I just don't know. I do think we are not over. I don't want to say overreacting because everyone's definitely entitled to their opinion. But I think we need to see the bigger picture right now. But I think there's a lot of pressure on Daniel Farke. And he's putting pressure on himself. Because Burnley's a big game at home. And we haven't looked. We need to make our home our fortress. Leeds lost 2 games at home last year. And we've already lost 2 games. Obviously, one was in the cup. But we conceded... I don't think we ever conceded 3 goals last year at home. And we did in the first game of the season. So are we declining? Or are we just taking time to gel? Obviously, August was tough for us last year. We had a bit of a meh August this year because we didn't get the players in quick enough. That's when you place the blame on 49ers. I don't know. It's just not easy to support Leeds United, is it? It's just not. It's just there's always something going on. You can't teach clinicality. Is that actually a word? That's down to the individual player. That is very true. Andy? I meant 3-4-3, of course. Tanaka is the key player. Yeah, I definitely want to see more of Tanaka. If Farke and the fans who have watched him before rate him so highly, then I want to see what that man can do. Does he get until Christmas? If we aren't challenging, then he has to go. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think, Jason, I think if you look at December time and Leeds are nowhere near the top 2, then of course he's got to go, yeah. I don't think he gets sacked right now at all. As much as people want that, he won't. And I'm not seeing enough from the players yet that are showing that they not want to play for him. I'm not seeing that yet. We've got no tough guys anymore. I think you're right. Just in recent time, the Alioskis of the world, who are a bit shithousey, the Pontus Janssens of the world, the Clicks of the world, don't have that anymore. Ampadu just throws his hands around. So does Joe Rodon. You need to see... Joe Rodon's hard as nails, gets kicked and bruised every week or whatever. But you want to see more of I don't know. If you watched the Wrexham Birmingham game last night, when was the last time you watched Leeds getting a scrap? I'm not saying you want that week in, week out. But you want to see a bit of something. Gnonto does it in a weird way where you're you're just going to get sent off in a minute, mate. You want to see a bit more bite from this Leeds side. But we go again at the weekend, this Saturday, against Cardiff at the Cardiff City Stadium. We've started off the season terribly. They've got a point on the board, sitting 24th. Leeds United currently Berardi's another one, sorry. Leeds United currently sitting 9th. And it's going to be a big game. I've got a couple more videos coming out during the week, and then we go again for the match reaction on Saturday. If you guys did enjoy the 5 things we learned from the games, I'll do another one on Sunday talking about 5 things we learned from the game. Might even do that live if you guys want to see that, because I love chatting to you guys. But yeah, if you haven't seen the 5 things we learned from the Burnley game, go check that out on the channel, because I actually really enjoyed doing a video like that. Hopefully the mic will sort itself out soon. But if you haven't got your comments in right now, when the video ends or when this live ends, get your comments in down below. So I'll still reply to them and get a little read of all of them. But guys, I'm not going to keep you for too much longer. Quickly before we go, get your Farke in, your Farke out in the comments down below. We will be okay. It's early days. Don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. And as you leave the live, smash a little like for me. Really does help out the channel. Obviously, the transfer videos, bang, they do very well. And then when the transfer window shuts, everyone kind of looks around and doesn't really know what to do. And your daily newsman's your jur. So you don't step on them toes. But you do want to do more videos. I want to do more videos for you guys, but just if you guys want to see them. Guys, I've been Ollie Ward. You guys have been absolutely excellent as always. And I will catch you in, I don't know, a few days' time, let's say. Smash a like on your way out. Let me know all your thoughts on Daniel Farke. And I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.